quick and easy steps how to make sure that you're going to get your fire started out in the wilderness. And for me, all I've got to do or to use is my Mora knife, which also has a little ferro rod in it. So with the right tinder and the right smaller sticks and the right procedure, I think we're going to get ourselves a fire. So let's go ahead and start. All right. Now, you can use all sorts of tinder. I happen to find some really great dry bark. What you're going to want to do is bundle it up, and then you're going to want to give it a little more volume. You want to break down all those fibers as much as you can. Just rub them together. And I keep weaving it in to like a bird's nest. Flies are terrible. Alright, so you got some good volume, super dry. We should be able to get a spark in there pretty good. Now, what I want to do is have these sticks close at hand. Not big, again, really small. We got to feed that fire just a little bit at a time. So I'd like to have these already ready, so as I start getting a flame, I'll do a little mini teepee right over it. And then as it gets bigger and bigger, I'll move it into the rocks where I'm going to want to put it. So, using the back of the knife, the thing a lot of people do is they try to flick their fire rod way up here and then let that flame or that spark fly down. By the time it gets down there, it's already cooled down. Best thing to do is put this right into the middle of your fire and then strike it in. Okay, so got the tinder part going. All right, so now I'm just gonna get that wood in there. So once this thing really catches, I'll move that in to where in between my heat rocks here. It's looking good. Perfect. So, handy little knife. I tell you what, I wouldn't go anywhere without this. But, you know, when you're setting up your campfire, it's always good to know your prevailing winds. Don't want to get smoked out in here. But for me, I sometimes like to smoke out my little lean-to because the bugs and the critters definitely don't like that. So when I just make it, I'll go ahead and put some greenery on it, blow all that smoke into my my shelter here to help smoke out some of the creepy crawlers that I don't want to have them crawling on me. But after that, this little reflecting wall should be just enough to reflect the heat back into me. There's something about a fire. It's kind of like, I don't know. It's primitive. I could probably watch a fire more than I could TV at night. I tell you, it's just the best. It's the #1 survival tool. I tell you what, if you can't make fire, get fire, you're in trouble. Because this will do everything for you. Just everything. So, for me, I'm going to start off a really small fire. I'm going to be heating those big rocks in there slowly because rocks can explode, so you want to heat them really slow. So I don't want to put a big fire. But at night, the best thing to do for me is always been able to do 2 big fire or pieces of wood, and then I just slowly bring them together. There's a lot of different techniques that you can use at night to keep yourself warm and fire building. It just depends on where you are, what part of the country, what kind of wood you have to burn. But for me, there's so much little bits of wood, dead wood that's around. I don't really need to cut any big trees down because there's so much stuff on the ground that you pick up. It burns really hot though. That little stuff burns super, super hot. So obviously, you know, in building your fire, you're going to want to start with small sticks. Put them in a teepee style because the fire will go and burn up the stick, and versus flat, there's just doesn't burn as hot. Then of course, once you get that, what we've got here, then we can put bigger logs on and it will last a little bit longer. Okay, so because of the monsoon, just downpour, cool thing is that where we position this fire, just the outside of the fire pit is actually getting a little bit of rain, but the middle part is not getting any rain, so that we can have fire even with this kind of a downpour. Plus, we stashed away some wood underneath our bed here, so just in case it is really, really wet for hours and hours, we don't have to go and search for more dry wood. Planning is what it takes. Okay, so that's how you do it. Start a fire with just a knife and a ferro rod, and pretty simple. So for more tips, tune in to TimRalstonLive.com.